You are listening to the Crazybrave Songwriter podcast. This is a podcast about the magic of making music, one song at a time. The artists on the show talk about the creative process, what moves them, and why they have chosen music as their means of expression. My name is Lisa M. Arreguin, songwriter, author, and studio owner of Love and Laughter Music Group, a family business that lives by its name. I'm happy to be your host for today. The music of singer-songwriter Adri-Anne Ralph is the focus of today's podcast. You'll undoubtedly find that her supple, velvety vocals harken back to the vintage influences of R&B and classic soul. She is a performer, session vocalist, and published songwriter. Featured as cut number 10 on her album entitled How Long is an eerily haunting song that is the subject of our attention in this episode. The song is called Victoria's Song, which honors the town and people she knew growing up, and paints a picture of what it's like to remember where we come from, the influences that change us, and the people that are forever a part of who we are.
Check 1 2, check 1 2. Testing.
I grew up in Victoria, British Columbia, which is a little city on an island, and if you've ever been there, it's beautiful. I felt at some point that I had to leave and kind of spread my wings and move to the big city. And so I eventually came to Southern California and kind of left behind that group of friends and family and just also my roots. There's definitely something about home that like you just long for that like rest. I went away, but then I always came back to catch my breath. I was like living my dreams and living my life, but where I could just come back and rest and be myself was home. For me, being vulnerable in songwriting and singing has always been difficult because I really prefer to like process my feelings and everything privately, so that I can, I guess, react in a way that I feel like is appropriate. The place that I was when I wrote this song was I had been away in California. Because of visa issues, I had to go back to Victoria. The kind of place that I had there was not really there anymore, and it didn't feel like home anymore. And I think it was the things fall apart, the center cannot hold when the center is just a memory inside a soul.
Seasons as they change, days wax and wane, nothing will ever remain the same.
I think what comes most easily to me is the lyrics. But what makes a song for me, what makes me love a song is the melody. So usually I'll start with a lyrical idea, like a phrase or even just one line that's like a phrase with a melody attached to it that just came to me. And then I'll kind of flesh it out lyrically. And then I kind of have to figure out the melody. But that's always the hardest part because sometimes like you get stuck with your lyrics and the natural rhythm of the words and how you say them. There's times where I start with lyrics and I've like literally written lyrics to the entire song, and then I go back and kind of hum a melody or sing the first line and then continue with the melody, and then I edit what I've written to fit what came naturally. And if either comes to me like a line of lyric or a line of melody, I record it right away because otherwise I will forget it. I have probably roughly 400 lyrical ideas on my phone. So many.
And I promise to myself you'll always
Writing a song from scratch and seeing it go from nothing to the fully recorded version, the truest expression of the experience that it can be. When I started songwriting, it was very instinctive. I just kind of wrote what I felt. I kind of had a vague idea because I listened to the radio a lot. Before I even go to a producer, have like 3 or 4 songs that I'm like, I like this about this song. Can you have that element? And I want this element from that song, and I want this element from this song. And then the more specific I can be, the more it'll turn out like what I want. I'm always thinking about, when I'm writing, stripping it down like emotionally to the bone. I would describe this song as nostalgic, sad, lonely, and bittersweet.
And now let's take a listen to the full song. For your listening pleasure, Victoria's song.
When I think of you, I think of cherry blossoms blowing on the wind like summer snow. When I think of you, I think of endless summers, winding streets, windy beaches, sunshine glow. Now I walk the streets, I see their familiar names, but I feel
This is Lisa again, and I want to take this moment to applaud the team at loveandlaughtermusicgroup.com, a safe and knowledgeable spot for musicians who wish to learn more about writing songs and recording great music. This episode is a product of livingcrazybrave.com, another hub where musicians can cultivate new awareness about what it takes to honor the sacred art of making honest music. Lady Gaga has said that writing is like heart surgery. Through the stories in their hearts, songwriters make a cultural imprint on all of us by using the gift of translation. They translate what has deep personal meaning for them and give it back to us as a healing balm so that we might remember who we really are. And it's a tough business, this thing of creating. It's demanding, personal, and hard at times. So if you are currently a songwriter or want to become one, remember to stay in the pocket of creating once you start, and don't let up because this is super important stuff. And above all, take care of yourself along the way.